Welcome back to Squawk Box. President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping had their fifth phone call yesterday for more than 2 hours to talk about headlines from around the globe. Tom Friedman is the New York Times foreign affairs columnist and the author of Hot, Flat, and Crowded and so many other books. Tom, it is great to see you this morning. Let's talk about the call that the president had with President Xi, what you think it means, if it means anything at all, and how concerned you are about China potentially taking a look or doing more than taking a look at Taiwan, given some of the reports that a lot of folks in Washington seem to be very concerned.
Well, Andrew, good to be with you. I think we should think about the context of this phone call. And the most important context of this phone call is that back in February, when the Ukraine war started, President Biden, his national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, had some really tough conversations with China and President Xi and his foreign minister. And those conversations basically were the United States telling China, do not enter the Ukraine war on Russia's side. Do not provide military equipment to Russia. And lo and behold, China, for its own reasons, Andrew, for its own national interest, did not do that. Andrew, that was a really, really big thing, a really important development, that China has not given military aid to Russia. Now, given that, it seems to me, my grandma used to say, Andrew, never fight two superpowers at once. It was just a little thing grandma used to say. We now are focused, have to be focused on basically Ukraine pushing Russia out of Ukraine. That is hugely important. China is playing an important role in that. Right now is the time to have good relations with China, open dialogue, and not doing anything to provoke them. Because eyes on the prize is Ukraine pushing Russia out of Ukraine. And for that, China is helping us, again, for its own reasons. I wouldn't be poking the bear right now.
So, Tom, what does Grandma say, though, about Taiwan in terms of that being the next sort of strategic piece in this larger geopolitical battle, frankly, that's taking place, even if we don't want to call it that?
Yeah, Grandma had something to say about Taiwan, too, Andrew. Grandma said, I love Taiwan. It's an amazing country. So much has changed in Taiwan over the last 40 years. There's only one thing Grandma used to say that hasn't changed in Taiwan. That's its geography. It's still a tiny island off the coast of a giant mainland. I'm hugely impressed with Taiwan. I love its democracy. I love its technology. I just wouldn't be poking China right now. It's just not the time to do it. Nothing particularly is on the agenda right now. And Grandma always said, countries that forget their geography, they can get in a lot of trouble.
So what do you tell Nancy Pelosi then? A lot of folks, apparently, according to the New York Times, our paper, saying that inside the White House, they're very concerned about her going over there.
Just stay home. This whole trip is completely out of context. Eyes on the prize. The prize is Ukraine defeating Russia. China's helping us do that right now. Don't poke them, especially at a time when Xi Jinping, about to try to secure a third term in power, I think floundering at home in many ways. Terrible COVID strategy, lots of problems with debt at home. He'd love a wag the tail option, I'm sure, wag the dog option, excuse me, by distracting his people's attention from his own failures at home by doing something on Taiwan. Be smart. Think of the context. Don't give him that kind of opportunity right now.
Yeah.